An update on a story that we brought you about 2 weeks ago now. You may remember that after a knife was discovered at a Benton County elementary school, a pair of fifth graders were suspended.
As News Channel 18 reported, one Prairie Crossing student was suspended for bringing a knife to school, the other for taking it and showing it to other classmates. News Channel 18's Elizabeth Rentschler joins us now with an update on the type of knife and how easy it might be to get one. Elizabeth.
Jeff, Gina, Benton Community School Superintendent Destin Haas says the knife brought to school was not a pocket knife, but a dual-bladed knife, a type of knife Haas says surprised him.
I've been in administration, like I said, 8 years, and I have never seen anything like that, ever. I mean, you have to get them at a knife show. It's not something that you can go buy at a store.
This coming from Benton Community School Superintendent Destin Haas just a few weeks after two students were suspended from Prairie Crossing Elementary School. One student was suspended for bringing a knife to school on May 18th, the other for taking the knife and showing it to classmates. But Haas says what was originally reported as being a pocket knife was no pocket knife at all, but a dual-bladed knife.
It was not a pocket knife, and it was not a Boy Scout knife. It was actually a knife that had two 4-inch blades or longer on each side of it.
Haas says the knife was taken and disposed of by the Benton County Sheriff's Department. He says while he can't show News Channel 18 a picture of the exact knife, he was able to find a similar one.
Very similar to it. It's not the exact same thing, but
Haas says they believe the student did not get the knife from his parents. David Rose is an expert when it comes to knives and says a knife like that is also known as a fantasy knife.
A fantasy knife is going to be any blade that's manufactured for display purposes only. Really, it's going to have low quality steel. It's not going to have a lot of useful purpose or useful life for that matter.
Rose says those types of knives are not sold anywhere in this area that he knows of. He says most knives like that would have to be bought at a gun store or online, and they're not an expensive purchase.
It's going to be cheap in price, probably $10 to $20.
Rose says the blades of most fantasy knives are not much sharper than an average kitchen knife, yet Rose says a knife is a knife and needs to be handled responsibly.
It's still a knife, so it's still going to probably be relatively sharp, and it's still made of steel, so it still could hurt somebody. In the wrong hands, any knife can be dangerous.
Destin Haas says administrators chose not to expel the students because they did not believe the students or teachers were in any danger. However, Haas wants to remind parents to double-check backpacks and pockets before sending your child to school, as no weapons are allowed on school property at any time. Elizabeth Rentschler, News Channel 18.